Good morning. You're watching Senior Notebook on WENY.
Hi everybody, I'm Tammy Waite with the Senior Notebook production team, and I'm very happy today to be with Linda Conway, who's been a guest previously on our show. Linda is with the Red Cross Service to the Armed Forces, and she is also the New York State Chair of DAR Service to Veterans. So Linda, welcome. Thanks so much for joining us again.
It's nice to be here again.
We have a lot to talk about around the topic of Vietnam veterans.
Yes.
There has been of great focus in the past several years on Vietnam veterans, and I know a day set aside specifically to honor and show appreciation to Vietnam veterans. Tell us a little bit about that and about the day, what people can expect to see and hear, and maybe how they can also participate.
March 29th is set aside as National Vietnam War Veterans Day to commemorate and thank our Vietnam veterans for their service and sacrifice. When they came home, they were not treated like our soldiers of today are treated. And this is a way for the nation to commemorate, recognize, and thank them for their service. In 2017, the day set aside for this day, so we can thank our veterans. Personally, I see a Vietnam veteran, I go up and shake his hand, no matter what day it is. But if you see a veteran, a Vietnam veteran, shake his hand and tell him thank you and welcome home. There's so many things you can do. You can take one to lunch if you know somebody who was a Vietnam veteran. Take them to lunch. Go to the museum in Elmira and talk to the veterans there. They'll tell you their stories, and it's fascinating.
Yes.
If you have a local memorial, go there. Help organize events around the day.
Sure.
Yes.
I'm thinking even in your neighborhood, if you have a neighbor you know who maybe served in Vietnam, take them a plate of cookies, or maybe write a nice little note and leave it on their doorstep, or just any little thing I would imagine would have meaning.
If you send them thank you cards and thank them, that's the one thing that they really appreciate, is to be recognized and remembered for what they did for our country.
Now I know it's not always the easiest thing for people who have served in war to come back and talk about what they've been through, but you did mention the Vietnam War Museum in Elmira, and being a place where people could go. So I'm thinking in terms of, if you are talking to our audience now and we have somebody who served in Vietnam listening and maybe they don't know about that connection, what could you tell them about that?
The museum is a really nice place to go. It is owned and operated by Vietnam veterans. And it's a safe place for the veterans to go and talk. I know on Fridays they have sort of a closed meeting where they can talk if they're having issues or if they just need to talk. It's a safe place for them to talk. Now the public is invited. They're welcome to go. It's at 1200 Davis Street in Elmira. It has a lot of memorabilia, a lot of remnants that the veterans brought home with them, and they have donated to the museum. It's just nice. You can sit and talk to them, ask them questions. Most of the time they will answer them and tell you about their experiences over there and what they went through. I have a cousin who was a recon pilot over there, and he told me stories about the different experiences he had. It's just a very nice place to go. They have a lot of information. They have books and videos that you can check out. and learn more about the Vietnam War. A lot of people don't realize how much went into that war.
That's so true, and I think we have so much more that we'd like to share with you. We're going to take a little break and we'll be right back, so stay tuned. Welcome back. Again, I'm Tammy Waite, and I am here with Linda Conway, who is with the Red Cross Service to the Armed Forces and also the New York State Chair DAR Service to Veterans. Linda, prior to the break, we were talking about the Vietnam War Museum in Elmira and what people could expect if they go there to visit or how they might reach out there. With Vietnam veterans, we were saying how that might be difficult to talk about the experience, but going to the museum, it's more than just that place where people go to look at memorabilia.
Yes.
It is that safe haven. It's that place where people who experienced a similar situation, the trauma, the loss of life, what that means to that individual may not be understood by even their own family members.
Right.
But at the museum, to talk to somebody who's had that similar experience provides that place where maybe some of those old wounds can begin to heal.
Yes.
Have you had some personal experiences that way with people? And I know through the work that you're doing through the Red Cross and maybe the outreach there to Vietnam veterans, tell us a little bit about what you might be able to do to steer people in a direction that can continue to help them heal.
Continue to help them. Yes, because, you know, back then, PTSD wasn't something that was recognized. And, you know, they did come home, they did see a lot. They have a lot of mental health problems. They have, as I said, PTSD. And for instance, my cousin, who is a Vietnam veteran, he has been diagnosed with PTSD. He was a reconnaissance pilot who led the fighter jets out into the country. And a lot of times he saw those fighter jets go down.
Oh.
And he's lost buddies over there, as many of our Vietnam veterans have lost their buddies over there. They bring it home, and then they don't know how to handle it.
Right.
Today, the VA is a great resource for them, and the Vietnam Museum is another resource where they can go and they feel safe and they can talk and maybe begin to heal, because there are a lot of them out there that haven't healed. This country went through turmoil during that time.
Absolutely.
And, you know, I remember several of my hometown fellows that went in, some of them didn't come home. And it was a tragedy for a small town.
Sure.
Yeah, so.
I'm thinking in terms too of what's different about Vietnam and those who served in Vietnam, the reception when they came home versus the reception today. So not only are you talking about individuals who dealt with trauma, loss, visualizations that you can't erase from your mind, from your memory, but to be treated the way our country treated people coming back from Vietnam, those who served and put their lives on the line, and how much more difficult that makes this situation. And the reason being that we have a day we're focused specifically on Vietnam veterans and why it's important to say thank you.
I know my cousin, for instance, said when he came home, because at that time they could wear their uniforms home, and there was so much turmoil in our country that they were spit on, they were called baby killers. You know, I could go on. Some of them were told that they could no longer attend the church that they had attended before they left. So yes, it's important for us to be able to thank these men and women who sacrificed their lives for this war.
And we talked prior to talking to our audience, you and I have had this conversation about the importance of families and all of this as well. So men and women who were called to serve and being drafted then too, versus
Yes, they were.
you know, you're signing up on the dotted line yourself, making that choice. You were told you will go, you will serve, and you weren't told where. You were, or you were told where. You didn't get a choice.
You didn't get a choice.
So
That's right.
the families also paid a price in all of
Oh,
that. So we'll talk
definitely.
some more about that as well. And we're going to take another break, and we'll be back and continue this important conversation with Linda. So please stay tuned. Welcome back again. I'm Tammy Waite, and I'm here with Linda Conway, and we've been talking about Vietnam veterans, excuse me, and the focus and why that's important with National Vietnam War Veterans Day, March 29th. So we're right there, and we really want to encourage all of you listening, if you know a Vietnam veteran, if you have someone in your family, you have a neighbor, take the time to please say thank you to them. Show some appreciation.
Yes.
And part of that appreciation takes us to this commemoration, the Vietnam War commemoration, which was approved by Congress and has been several years, I think, right?
2012.
Wow, so it's been quite
Yes.
a while since
It was the
that's
50th
been.
anniversary of the end of the Vietnam War.
Okay.
So, yeah.
And tell us a little bit, Linda, about the commemoration and what the goal of the commemoration is.
So the commemoration is organizations can become commemorative partners, like the Red Cross and my DAR, Daughters of the American Revolution. And what we do is we can hold events to recognize and thank our Vietnam veterans and present them with lapel pins and thanking them for their service and on behalf of a grateful nation. And it's mostly because they were treated not as well as our soldiers today coming home. And any living veteran who at the time served during that time of the Vietnam War. And then when I was doing research, I found out it's November 1st, 1955 to May 15th, 1975. So in that span of time, and this is a commemoration of the end of the war. And if you know of any veteran, Vietnam veteran who has not received a pin, they can contact me and at my Red Cross email, linda.conway@redcross.org, or call my home phone 607-962-0765, and I'll be glad to get a pin to them. It's always been a passion of mine because I've had family members and classmates over there. So this is a chance for me and for our nation to thank our Vietnam veterans.
And the commemoration pin, what a lovely thing. It's something
yes.
they can wear
Proudly.
every day
Proudly.
and feel good about that, knowing that that is a thank you and a gratitude that people are expressing.
Yes, yes.
So with the commemoration events, can you tell us a little bit about how they take place and
Well,
what types of things people do?
Tammy has invited me for a couple of times to present lapel pins to Vietnam veterans, mostly in Schuyler County. And we have a dinner, and then I do the pinning of the veterans, both men and women. You may think that there is just men, but there is also women because there were nurses that were sent over to Vietnam. And we have a ceremony, and I present them with a pin, and we thank them for their service and their sacrifice. And it's very heartwarming.
It
to
really
them.
is.
It really is. And they appreciate the fact that we're now recognizing them and thanking them. And then one of the ways, too, is going down to the museum. And March 29th happens to be on a Monday, and I will be down there because I will be bringing either cupcakes or pizza. I haven't decided yet, but those guys love
something nice.
Something nice
Yeah,
to eat.
Yeah, that sounds great.
Mhm.
And so on the 29th, if people do show up at the museum, I know not everybody likes the group setting. It's not
No.
easy, right, to be recognized publicly like that. So maybe at the museum, that's the perfect time to do it. If you are a Vietnam veteran,
Yes.
think about taking a trip to the museum on Monday, and you can see Linda one-on-one.
Yep.
You can get your pin, you can enjoy a cupcake or a slice of pizza, and have a great time, maybe not a great time, but a healing, good time talking to others
Sure.
who understand your experience.
Yeah.
So I think
And-
that's great.
And it is. It's a nice, safe place for them, and I would love to meet more of the Vietnam veterans.
All
I
right.
really would, and I will have pins with me,
Wonderful.
just in case.
Wonderful. So again, the address of the museum?
1200 Davis Street in Elmira, across from Woodlawn Cemetery.
Okay,
Mm,
pretty
it's on a
easy to
corner.
find, right? Lots of flags and whatnot out front, so, okay.
Yes.
Linda, I just want to thank you so
Oh,
much
you're
for coming back
welcome.
and joining us again and talking about this. I think it's just so important, and I hope people take advantage of the information and the camaraderie that is at the museum, and they place a visit there and maybe give you a phone call and you can hand out a few more
Yes.
pins. That would be terrific.
Well, I do, and thank you for inviting me.
Absolutely. And so to all of you Vietnam veterans, on behalf of a grateful nation, we do thank you. Have a great day, everybody.